Yo, real talk. You just got a raise. You're hyped. Finally, more money hitting the bank, right? Then your paycheck shows up. And bro, where did half of it go? That's not a glitch. That's not a mistake. That's the American tax system doing exactly what it was designed to do. And the wildest part? Most Americans have zero clue how deep this rabbit hole actually goes. Let's say you're pulling $80,000 a year. Sounds solid, sounds comfortable, but here's what nobody tells you at the job offer. That $80,000, you're never actually seeing $80,000. After federal taxes, state taxes, payroll taxes, you might be taking home closer to $55,000 to $58,000. That's $22,000 to $25,000 gone before you spend a single dollar. Let that sink in. And that's just round one. Before your paycheck even hits your account, the government already got paid. Federal income tax, gone. Social Security, gone. Medicare, gone. State income tax, gone in most states. You haven't bought groceries yet. You haven't paid rent yet. And you're already down bad. Then comes the second hit, and this one's sneaky. Every time you swipe your card at Target, sales tax. Every time you fill up your tank, gas tax. Own a home, property tax. Every single year. Even when the mortgage is paid off. Bro, the government is getting a cut from literally every direction. It's like being in a game where the house always wins. Now zoom out and look at the average American family. Groceries up 25% since 2020. Utilities through the roof. And let's talk about getting to work real quick. The average American spends $3,000 to $5,000 a year just on gas commuting. That's money you already paid income tax on, being spent on gas that also has a gas tax built in. You're literally being taxed on taxed money just to go make more taxable money. It's a cycle that never stops. Homeowners, y'all feel this different. You grind for 30 years to pay off your mortgage. You finally own your home free and clear. And the property tax bill still shows up like clockwork. In states like New Jersey and Illinois, that bill can be $8,000, $10,000, even $15,000 a year. You never truly own anything. Small business owners got it the worst though. No cap. Self-employment tax, 15.3% straight off the top. Then federal income tax on top of that. State taxes, quarterly payments, 1099s, LLC fees. The paperwork alone could make you quit. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're leaving. So here's where most Americans get completely stuck. They work harder, more overtime, side hustles, extra shifts, grinding 60, 70 hours a week, and their bank account looks exactly the same. Why? Because earning more without understanding taxes just means you're paying more taxes. You're running on a treadmill that's speeding up, but you're not going anywhere. Now here's where it gets interesting. You think rich people are out here paying 40% tax like everyone else? Nah, fam. They're not cheating the system. They're not doing anything illegal. They just actually read the rule book. And the rule book has exits that most people never even look for. Think about this. You spend 12 years in school learning algebra and Shakespeare, but not one class on how taxes actually work. Not one lesson on what a W-2 versus 1099 means. Not 1 minute on how tax brackets actually function. That's not an accident, bro. An uninformed taxpayer is a compliant taxpayer. But here's what the wealthy figured out that schools never taught you. 401k contributions. Pre-tax lowers your taxable income. Health savings accounts. Triple tax advantage. Almost nobody uses it. Roth IRA. Your money grows completely tax-free. Long-term capital gains. Taxed at a lower rate than your regular paycheck. These aren't loopholes. They're literally written into the tax code. For everyone, including you. Real talk. Financial education might be the highest ROI investment you ever make. One tax strategy learned equals potentially thousands saved every single year. For decades. That's not chump change. That's life-changing money compounding over time. The guy who learns this stuff at 28 versus the guy who learns it at 48, 20 years of difference. That's a completely different retirement. Picture two dudes. Same salary, same city, same job. Guy A just lets his employer handle everything. Never looks at his tax return. Guy B spends 10 hours learning tax strategy. Maxes his 401k. Opens an HSA, understands deductions. Fast forward 20 years. Guy A is stressed, underprepared, still grinding. Guy B, he's out here actually winning. Same income, completely different outcomes. And look, this ain't about hating the government or dodging taxes. Taxes fund roads, schools, infrastructure. That's real. But there's a massive difference between paying what you legally owe and overpaying because you never took the time to understand the rules. One is your civic duty. The other is just leaving money on the table. The Americans building real generational wealth, they're not necessarily making the most money, they're keeping the most money. Every dollar you legally protect from unnecessary taxes is a dollar you can throw into investments, assets, businesses. That's how the gap between struggling and wealthy actually gets created. So let's be straight up honest here. It's not always the hardest worker who wins financially, it's the most informed one. The person who understands money, taxes, and how the system actually works will almost always outperform the person who just works hard and hopes for the best. Hard work is necessary, but it ain't sufficient. Not anymore. So here's what I want you to think about. If you could legally keep just 10% more of every dollar you earn on an $80,000 salary, that's $8,000 back in your pocket every year, invested over 20 years, that's potentially $400,000 to $500,000 in wealth, just from knowing the rules. So drop in the comments, what's one thing about taxes you wish someone taught you earlier? And if this video actually opened your eyes, no pressure, but you should probably hit subscribe, because we're just getting started breaking down the money stuff they never taught us in school.